Stereotypes are something that Americans hear and encounter in society every day. These stereotypes come from the different views and opinions that we have on each other. They are both positive and negative stereotypes that can affect people in many different ways. In sports, athletes can be stereotyped on their race, height, or even their gender. Most stereotypes on athletes are often negative. Growing up in America today, almost every person at some point in their life will be an athlete. Nobody ever wants to be treated differently or categorized by a stereotype. Stereotypes of athletes are often negative and they depict a false image of who the athlete actually is. There are many common stereotypes that you will hear about an athlete. Athletes can be viewed as cheaters, lesbians, jocks, and being soft or lazy. When athletes are categorized as being cheaters, that usually stems from them being accused of using steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs to boost their career. The way that this type of accusation could come about is possibly from recording almost impossible statistics to blowing away all your competition. Being considered a cheater makes you subject to get a lot of attention from the media and outside world, especially if you're a highly coveted athlete. Stereotypes on athletes appear all around the media. The biggest media platform that you will see these kind of stereotypes on would be social media. Since many athletes use social media, it is not uncommon for them to face things like this on a daily basis. For example, a 17-year-old kid looked at Twitter to ask MLB player Chris Davis if he was taking steroids. Just because Chris Davis is having an extremely good year and his statistics are off the charts compared to what his career stats are, people assume he is cheating by using steroids. Alex Rodriguez, the former third baseman of the Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers, and New York Yankees, was stereotyped as being a cheater his whole baseball career. As a matter of fact, he was so good that people just assumed he was on steroids because they didn't think it was possible to reach the milestones as easily as A-Rod did. This stereotype ruined A-Rod's career, although he passed every drug test that he had taken during his career. A-Rod stereotyped over being a cheater by using steroids has turned into one of the biggest jokes that sports will ever see. In his memes, A-Rod turns into Aroid, and people use him as a public figure when other professional baseball players are accused of cheating. Another type of media where stereotypes on athletes are present is sports media. The stereotype present in sports media is about black and white athletes. The stereotype talks about how white athletes are smarter than the black athletes and how black athletes are more naturally athletic. The media says that because of this, black athletes aren't suited to play QB because they lack the knowledge that you need to play the position. Almost every stereotype we hear today is going to be negative, no matter how you put it. Based on a study done at Stanford University, it shows that stereotypes on athletes have a negative effect on student athletes in the classroom. Many people would never think that stereotypes on athletes would cause any harm, but they're wrong. The study shows that there are some athletes that suffer from the dumb jock stereotype in the classroom. This stereotype threat particularly affects males more than it does females. A stereotype threat is when a person's performance goes down because they are anxious about the way that they are viewed by other people. Over time, the stereotypes on athletes have become more present in everyday life. The stereotype has evolved more and more into racial profiling. In the past, we have made these stereotypes saying that white athletes can't do this or black athletes can't do that. This is one of the stereotypes that has just gotten worse since the 1970s, and it doesn't look like it's going to get better any soon. Stereotypes have limited the things that athletes are able to accomplish. Although the same stereotypes that existed in the past are still present today, there are more and more athletes that are able to break these stereotypes and do things that these stereotypes say that they can't.